Welcome to U.S. Briefing. The content of the briefing includes: with trade deadline drama behind them, Capitals cruise past Blackhawks. Biden and Trump take to Georgia for dueling rallies. Russia's new guided bomb inflicts devastation and heavy casualties on the Ukrainian front lines. Powerball winning numbers for Saturday, March 9. Check your tickets for $521 million jackpot. Chinese investors offloaded $31.7 billion of U.S. property over last 5 years. With trade deadline drama behind them, Capitals cruise past Blackhawks. Washington Post. Washington Capitals defeat the Chicago Blackhawks 4-1. Biden and Trump take to Georgia for dueling rallies. Washington Post. President Biden and former President Donald Trump will hold rallies in Georgia, a key state in the 2020 general election, on Saturday. Biden will rally voters in Atlanta, while Trump will hold his event in Rome. Biden will receive the joint endorsement of 3 political action committees, the AAPI Victory Fund, the Collective PAC, and Latino Victory Fund. The groups have committed to spending $30 million to mobilize Black, Latino, and Asian American and Pacific Islander voters. The groups will focus their combined efforts on 3 key states, Arizona, Georgia, and Michigan. Voters of color made up a large portion of Biden's vote share in 2020, and Democrats' ability to motivate and mobilize these coalitions could be determinative in November. The visits come 2 days after Biden delivered a fiery State of the Union address, during which he assailed Trump, though not directly by name, for threatening individual rights, freedom, and democracy. Meanwhile, Trump is expected to attack Biden on his immigration policy. Russia's new guided bomb inflicts devastation and heavy casualties on the Ukrainian front lines. CNN. Russia has converted a basic Soviet-era weapon, the FAB-1500, into a gliding bomb that can cause a crater 15 meters wide, according to the Daily Beast. The 1.5-ton bomb can be dropped from fighter jets from a distance of 60 to 70 kilometers, beyond the range of many Ukrainian air defenses. The bomb is directed towards its target by a guidance system and pop-out wings that allow it to glide towards its target. Recent videos from the battle lines in Donetsk region have illustrated the bomb's immense power. The FAB bombs have become a critical element in the Russian offensive in Donetsk region, particularly in raising Ukrainian defenses. The FAB-1500 is being converted at a plant near Moscow into a cheap but potent version of a missile. While the manufacturing of the glide kits is a bottleneck, the basic explosive package is something the Russians have in huge numbers. However, the converted FAB bombs can only be used against fixed targets. Ukrainian forces on the front lines, especially in Donetsk, are exposed to a blitz of Russian airstrikes. Powerball winning numbers for Saturday, March 9. Check your tickets for $521 million jackpot. Yahoo! The Powerball jackpot was an estimated $521 million with a cash option of $254.8 million for the drawing on Saturday, March 9, 2024. The winning numbers were 30, 36, 49, 52, 63, and Powerball 16. The Powerball drawing is held 3 times a week, on Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 10:59 p.m. The deadline for purchasing Powerball tickets varies by state, with the deadline in New Jersey being 9:59 p.m. on the day of the drawing. Powerball tickets can be purchased in person at gas stations, convenience stores, and grocery stores, and some airport terminals may also sell lottery tickets. Tickets can also be ordered online through Jackpocket, the official digital lottery courier of the USA Today network, in certain states. The odds of winning the Powerball jackpot are 292, 201, 338, to 1, and the odds of matching all 5 white balls are 11, 688, 053, to 1. The top 10 largest Powerball jackpots since the lottery began in 1992 range from $2.04 billion to $699.8 million. Chinese investors offloaded $31.7 billion of U.S. property over last 5 years. South China Morning Post. Chinese investors have sold $31.7 billion of U.S. commercial real estate between 2019 and 2021, 15 times more than what they acquired during the same period, according to MSCI Real Assets. The divestment trend is expected to continue amid the high interest rate environment and declining asset values in the U.S. Some Chinese investors are also rushing to sell their foreign real estate holdings to free up cash as they face a worsening property crisis in China. The disposals can be attributed in part to China's capital controls and the implementation of lending caps in late 2020. U.S. opens criminal probe into Boeing 737 MAX mid-flight blowout. Al Jazeera. U.S. prosecutors have launched a criminal investigation into a mid-flight blowout incident involving a Boeing 737 MAX aircraft operated by Alaska Airlines. The Department of Justice, DOJ, has interviewed witnesses as part of the probe into the January 5 incident in which a portion of the fuselage blew off mid-flight. The investigation will also inform authorities' assessment of whether Boeing has complied with the terms of a $2.5 billion settlement to avoid prosecution in relation to two fatal crashes involving the Boeing 737 MAX in 2018 and 2019. The investigation comes as Boeing is already facing scrutiny over its safety record. Xi sticks to his vision for China's rise even as growth slows. New York Times. Despite China's economic growth slowing down and population shrinking and aging, President Xi Jinping remains confident that his policies will secure China's rise as a superpower. He announced last week that China's economy is likely to grow by around 5% this year, the same pace as last year, and stressed his ambitions for industrial growth driven by innovation. President Xi also called for China to win the battle for key core technologies and build up strategic capabilities in emerging areas such as artificial intelligence, cyber operations, and space technology. U.S. military enters a new phase with Gaza aid operations. New York Times. President Biden has ordered the U.S. military to build a floating pier off the Gaza Strip to allow aid to be delivered by sea. This move is unprecedented, as the U.S. military has historically used its forces to provide humanitarian relief during wars or natural disasters, rather than in situations where the U.S. is indirectly supporting bombings. The decision to build the floating pier came after the U.S. authorized humanitarian airdrops for Gaza, which were criticized as inadequate by relief experts. However, even with the addition of the floating pier, aid experts argue that the suffering in Gaza will not be significantly alleviated. The U.S. will continue to provide Israel with munitions while attempting to deliver humanitarian aid to Palestinians. The Army Corps of Engineers will be involved in the construction of the floating pier. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Dr. Six from the six-dimensional world, here to bring you the latest news and my witty analysis. Let's dive right in, shall we? In sports news, the Washington Capitals defeated the Chicago Blackhawks with ease. It seems that the drama of the trade deadline is behind them, and they are cruising towards victory. Just like me on a Sunday morning with a cup of coffee in hand, the Capitals are unstoppable. Moving on to politics, we have President Biden and former President Trump taking their rallies to Georgia. The battleground state that keeps on giving. Biden is receiving the endorsement of 3 political action committees, while Trump is expected to attack Biden on his immigration policy. It's like a never-ending political dance-off, isn't it? I can almost hear the music playing. Now, let's talk about something a bit more serious. Russia has developed a new guided bomb that is causing devastation and heavy casualties on the Ukrainian front lines. This bomb is a gliding bomb that can be dropped from fighter jets, and recent videos have shown its immense power. It's like something out of a sci-fi movie, except it's happening in real life. Let's hope for a resolution to this conflict soon. In other news, the Powerball jackpot reached a staggering $521 million. Now, if I won that kind of money, I would buy a private jet and travel to all 6 dimensions. But alas, it's just a dream for now. If you bought a ticket, make sure to check your numbers. You never know, you might be the lucky winner. Chinese investors have been offloading U.S. properties, selling $31.7 billion worth in the past 5 years. It seems they are cashing out due to high interest rates and declining asset values. Plus, they might need the money to deal with their own property crisis back in China. It's like a game of real estate hot potato, with the Chinese investors passing the properties to someone else. In a more serious turn of events, U.S. prosecutors have launched a criminal investigation into a mid-flight blowout incident involving a Boeing 737 MAX aircraft. This comes after the 2 fatal crashes involving the same aircraft model in 2018 and 2019. I guess Boeing's safety record is not looking too good right now. Let's hope for a thorough investigation and some answers for the victims' families. Lastly, President Xi Jinping remains confident in China's rise as a superpower, despite the country's economic growth slowing down and its aging population. He is determined to drive industrial growth through innovation and secure key core technologies. It's like he's playing a game of chess, thinking several moves ahead. Let's see if his strategy pays off. And that wraps up our news for today. Remember, folks, stay informed, stay curious, and keep your sense of humor intact. Now, I invite you, my wonderful audience, to share your thoughts and questions. What are your ideas on these news stories? Let's start a lively discussion. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6 Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6 team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6 Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6 Brief via email.